Hello guys, it's Darksigner here from the German Duel Masters channel, and welcome back to another duel video. Today I got the second semi-final of our first IDC tournament for you guys, and we have Experiment playing on the top against Hymne on the bottom of your screen, and Experiment is playing a Fire Nature Light Manaburn deck, while Hymne is playing a Light Water Ailzonius aggro deck. And I hope you guys enjoy this matchup. We really enjoyed watching this. It was a really interesting match here. So for the first turns, both players are just charging mana. But Hymne has a 2-drop, which is really nice for an aggressive deck. It's Belix, not really necessarily an aggressive card, but it's an evolution bait for Warlord Ailzonius, which is his creature he wants to get out in turn 5 every time, so he can start pressuring the opponent. And if the opponent can't deal with it, that's usually a game for him. Now he sets a shield and takes one with Emerald, so manipulating his shields. Maybe he puts down a trigger or just wants to get a fresh card in his hand. Let's see if Experiment can finally play something. Yeah, on turn 4 he plays Volcano Charger on the Emerald, which is nice. I don't know if Hymne was on Illusionary Merfolk in this list, but if he was, then removing the Emerald is always a nice idea. And in turn 4 Hymne plays a Bingo, so another evolution bait. Yeah, I don't think he had another play here, but this field setup really dies to Searing Wave, so let's see if Experiment has one of those. And yeah, that's actually it. So Searing Wave kills both creatures. So no Ailzonius next turn. I think Hymne really wanted to play Zirion last turn. That would have prevented that situation. But unfortunately he didn't have one, so yeah, now he's charging Ailzonius because he can't play it anyway. Plays a Belix and has to take one of the Holy Ores back to hand. Yeah, it doesn't seem too good here for Hymne. I think he's in a really bad spot right now, because unless the second card is another Warlord Ailzonius, I don't see him really advancing his game state here. And yeah, okay, so Experiment is really afraid of that Ailzonius and uses an Apocalypse Vice for the Belix. I think he's in a really good position now. He cleared Hymne's board again. Just has to draw into his own engine cards that burn mana, and then he's good to go from there. And the Sky Sword keeps him alive a little bit longer against an aggressive deck. That's always a nice option. Yeah, an Aqua Surfer, not really what you want to see at this moment of the game, so he's just charging it, and another Belix hits the board, and Holy Ore comes back to hand again. And yeah, he's in the same situation as last turn. If Experiment can clear the Belix, he's all good, but if he leaves it on board, he has to fear that the other card is another Ailzonius. Oh, and he comes here with his own Belix. Now he can retrieve Miraculous Rebirth, kill the Belix, and get out another creature of his own, maybe another Belix to retrieve, yeah, even more removal. Like he only has Volcano Charger as a target right now, but that's still good for cards like Emerald or Aqua Hulkus. Yeah, the Holy Horde comes down again, and he plays Aqua Holkers to draw one more card. Let's see if he can follow it up with another 3-drop. He's thinking, but yeah, doesn't seem like he has something. Maybe he has another Belix and thought about playing it, but maybe he, if the other card in his hand indeed is Warlord Ailzonius, maybe he wants to wait it out so he can play Belix and Ailzonius in one turn. Unless, of course, he got unlucky and drew into an Zurion. But yeah, the card was Emerald, not Belix, so he places a card in shields and gets one out. Maybe that new card out of his shields can help him. And down comes the Mysterious, so yeah, that's a big threat here. I don't know if Hymne can deal with it, because Holy Awe doesn't kill it, because Emerald only has 1k power, and Surfer wouldn't really do much against Mysterious, would just delay it for one turn and also give him a plus. And yeah, now he plays Bingo, wants to stick an evolution bait on board, but I think the Mysterious is really steamrolling out of hand pretty quick here. And yeah, I think it's a really interesting approach from Experiment that he didn't include Dark or Water in his deck. Many mana burn strategies revolve around Miraculous Plague, and because he doesn't play Water nor Dark, he doesn't use that card, and also no Dark for discard, so he really focuses on dealing with the opponent's board with his fire spells and just preventing the opponent from discarding him by burning mana early. We didn't see any early mana burn cards from him in this game yet, but I think it will change later on. And now he plays Soul Swap to get the Bingo off the field, so he really denies him of any chance of getting Ailzonius out. And Magris, he tries to draw into another bait, I assume. We didn't know the last card. I think he didn't play it yet, so that very well might be the Ailzonius, or he's just bluffing it. Another Sky Sword comes down, and yeah, the Mysterious is constantly drawing him cards. And yeah, I think the writing is on the wall, even though both players still have all shields left. I think Experiment is in the way better position because let's face it, Hymne doesn't have many baits left, and yeah, everything he tries to do to come back into his game helps Experiment, because he will draw cards with Mysterious. And yeah, now down comes Reap and Sow. That is one of the early mana burn cards I was referring to earlier. The other one is Mana Crisis. I think he's on that as well. And now I think that's a sign of defeat when you place another Warlord Ailzonius into mana. But I think the one card in hand is the third one. So I think he drew 3 of his 4 already, but doesn't seem to find any bait. Like I said, I think there aren't too many left. And now it's just matter of time whether Experiment wants to burn his mana down so he can attack freely, or if he just sticks like a Ball Medius on board, for example, and then starts to go for game. So yeah, here comes the Soul Swap. Let's see if he decides to take the aggressive route and play Ball Medius, or the safe route and play the Fortress Shell. Okay, so he goes for Belix instead. That's not something I expected. Takes the Apocalypse Vice, so I think he wants to clear the board first. So he goes super safe here. And yeah, that clears the whole board. So no attacking in the next turn, but I think he wouldn't have attacked anyways because there are 2 blockers on board. But yeah, now Experiment starts to go aggressive. He cleared the whole board, so he doesn't have to fear anything bearing any shield triggers. Goes into the 3 shields that weren't set by Emerald and passes his turn. Maybe Experiment is trying to finish the last 2 shields with Ball Medius if he wants to go the safe route, so he doesn't have to fear an Aqua Surfer and Holy Ore. But I think the game's over either way, because what are Aqua Surfer and Holy Ore doing without any field advantage? Yeah, and Hymne is playing Coral to get rid of the Mystrias and an Aqua Hulkus to draw 1 more card. But I think Sirion would be way better here. I think he didn't see any of those. That's quite unfortunate. Bronze Arm Tribe coming down into mana. And yeah, here comes a Soul Swap. Maybe this time for Ball Medius, or let's see if he can surprise me again. And yeah, he does. Plays the Foul Eager, maybe trying to retrieve the Apocalypse Vice once again to clear the board first. Goes for Searing Wave. That's the cheaper option, of course. You lose 1 shield, but does the same thing for 2 less mana. Then he still has 6 mana left. Plays a Bliss Totem, so he can get even more advantage if the game goes on for multiple turns here, but I don't think so. Yeah, it doesn't even activate a shield trigger, or it was a bluff maybe. And yeah, now Hymne is scooping the game up, and the players are setting their boards for game 2. And I assume Hymne will go first, because he plays the aggressive deck and has to finish the game early. And yeah, so he does. And charges a bingo. Maybe he can start out this game a little bit better. I think a Zurion would have really helped in the first game, because that searing wave, the searing wave on curve really killed all his plans of playing Ailzonius. So already having both mana colors is really good, and he starts out with a Belix once again. That's a pretty solid start. So yeah, if he can follow it up with a Zurion, I feel pretty confident that he can make a comeback here and make this match interesting. Experiment just charging mana, but that is to be expected from a control deck. And yeah, here's the Zurion that really was he really was missing that the first game, and now he's safe from Searing Wave. Now he still has to look out for a blizzard of spears. That one can really hurt here, especially because he played Bronzam Tribe and can play it a turn earlier. But if he has the Ailzonius in hand, I think it doesn't matter, because Ailzonius would hit the board next turn. So he's safe from blizzard. And he goes in, which is pretty risky, because if he has the shield trigger for Zurion now, he could lose the Searing Wave, but he took the risk, getting rid of one additional shield early on might help in the long game, because he can finish earlier. Oh, but that Reap and Sow is really clutch here. Yeah, I didn't think about that one. Burning 1 mana is really crucial here, because that prevents Ailzonius from hitting the board. And yeah, that was a really good play from Experiment here. So now an Aqua Hulkus comes down, but yeah, Hymne can start rushing. But Blizzard of Spears next turn or an Epoch would really set him back. So Experiment is still in this game, even though he lost 3 of his shields early on. It's just a matter of his options in hand, what he has to deal with the board. Another Reap and Sow, so charging even more mana and getting rid of the light mana. That's a good move here. So another turn without Ailzonius, but if he can go through all the shields this turn, Hymne can go for game. Don't need an Ailzonius if you can just finish the game with the small creatures. So Hymne plays a bingo, so just another bait if he can somehow get to 5 mana. And now he's going in, and if there isn't any shield trigger, that's the game. Goes in with Aqua Hulkus to play around Burst Shot and Phantom Flame, and yeah, that's the game. That was a quick game 2, so we are heading into game 3. But here Experiment has the advantage to go first. And let's see if Hymne can replicate his success in game 2. I think Zurion really helped. And I think Experiment did a good job preventing the Ailzonius from coming down, but didn't have an answer for the onslaught of creatures Hymne had. So his game plan has to be playing like the same as game 2, but actually having a mass removal spell in hand like Searing Wave or Epoch for the small attackers. So Experiment does an interesting play here, plays Belix without any spell to retrieve, which is quite uncommon for control decks and is typically done in Ailzonius decks. But it's a good move here because it's just a jump blocker that can block attacks from cards like Magris, Bingo, or Aquahulcus. And so yeah, down comes the Aquahulcus, and so the Belix is already proven its worth here, standing in Hymne's way. And down comes a Volcano Charger. So yeah, Experiment is charging the mana quite fast, so I think if he has the options in hand, he can play mass removal spells from next turn on, which is always something you want to see against this Ailzonius deck. And down comes the Mistreas. That's something he really wants to see. That gets his own engine going. So from now on, Hymne has to give Experiment advantage every time he plays a creature. But yeah, playing Ailzonius that's a good move here. I think Experiment's only out is Bazagazil Dragon, and that one doesn't come out the next turn, I think, unless he draws into Soul Swap and has Bazagazil in hand. And yeah, he blocks the attack, doesn't want to take the shields. Personally, I think I would have taken those first two shields, but yeah, blocking that one prevented from further damage. But oh, Skysword is a nice one. Charging the Bazagazil isn't that good here. He would rather have drawn into it. So another Belix come down, so now I understand the decision from last turn to block the attack, because he had another blocker in hand to play this turn. So retrospectively, that was a nice play. He played another Belix and got a Volcano Charger back. Not the greatest spell to get back, but better than nothing. Let's see if he can maybe swap out the Bazagazil Dragon next turn to deal with the Ailzonius. And Hymne needs to find an out for the Belix here, so he can finally get in to some of those shields. And 5 mana, yeah, I was assuming a Corail here. That's something to deal with Belix, but he chooses to get rid of the Mistreas to prevent that one from going off. But I think Corailing Mistreas isn't really a strong play, because he can just replay it next turn and he gets a draw anyway. Oh, and that Soul Swap is really strong here. He can swap out Bazagazil now. Yeah, I would have Corailed the Belix at this point. And this time Experiment didn't choose to block and rather wanted some more cards in hand. And yeah, now he has the out against Ailzonius. He takes Bazagazil back to hand and plays it to crash with Ailzonius, but we just realized it afterwards that Bazagazil doesn't return at the end of every turn, just at the end of your own turn. So basically he could have played a Mistrias again in the turn or something else, because Bazagazil would have stayed on board when you soul swap it in during the opponent's turn. But I think it doesn't affect the outcome too much here. He gets rid of the Ailzonius, which was his main objective anyway, so I think he's in a pretty solid position. And Hymne is fighting for his life again, like in game 1. Sticking creatures on board, and let's see if Experiment can deal with it. Like an Apocalypse Vice here would be really nice to clear the whole board. So he's only tapping 5 mana now. Maybe a Sky Sword, or Faliga is also pretty nice. And he searches Soul Swap, so I think he's swapping out the Fortress Shell right now. Maybe getting rid of both water mana here. Ah, okay, no. He that's also a pretty nice play. Gets rid of the evolution bait for Ailzonius and gets Aqua Surfer, which doesn't have a good target because either Belix or Faliga give Experiment even more advantage next turn, and yeah, that's why he decides to get one of his own creatures back to hand. And I think Coral is the better choice than Aquahulkus. I think that's the right play. Plays another Coral, maybe he has another 2-drop to follow it up. And I think he gets rid of the blocker now to attack with Aquahulkus and Aqua Surfer. And yeah, here's the Belix 2-drop. Gets the Holy Ore back. That's also pretty nice. Assuming Hymne doesn't have the Ailzonius in hand, he can block the attack, the counter attack from Faliga with Belix. And if he has Ailzonius, I think I would just let Faliga get one of those creatures. So yeah, Hymne's back in the game. Only 2 shields left, and he has 3 attackers on board. Let's see if Experiment can deal with the board here. I think he can deal at least with 1 creature because he has the Volcano Charger in hand. Then he can try and kill one with the Faliga, so he should definitely get rid of 2 of those creatures. Let's see if he can get rid of even more. So yeah, 5, 6 mana, 7 mana. Okay, I assume the Apocalypse Vice is coming down. Yeah, that kills 3 out of 4, and the last one can be killed with Faliga. Yeah, sometimes you have trouble targeting cards in OCTGN. He definitely wanted to kill another of the 2k creatures. And down comes the Belix, and yeah, I don't know what you want to take back here. He takes back a Fairy Life, and yeah, because Volcano Charger is the only fire mana he has, I think it's okay to take back Fairy Life. I think he will charge it again next turn. Fairy Life at this point of the game doesn't really do anything. And yeah, Hymne is still trying to get as many creatures on board as possible to fight through that. And yeah, he does so by playing an Aqua Hulkus into an Electro Explorer Zirion. That is really nice, but I think Experiment has the answer in hand, because he can answer the Aqua Hulkus with Volcano Charger, and then he only needs one other removal spell for Zirion. Tap 7 mana, no 8 mana, okay. Yeah, that gets rid of the Zirion. Yeah, I totally forgot about the Bazagazil he has in hand. That's always a nice option. It's like a repeatable Terror Pit, sort of. So yeah, that comes in really clutch. I think now the move has to be maybe trying to find a Belix and playing Belix and Ailzonius in one turn. So you dodge Bazagazil, getting rid of all your baits. So now the Volcano Charger finally sees play again, getting rid of the Aqua Hulkus. Oh no, okay, he wants to take it back, but I think we decide that he has to play it because he already played the card. Like making a take back, if you just tapped mana and didn't do anything else, you should be able to redo your mana you want to tap. But if you play a card, at least at this stage of the tournament, we agreed that there are no takebacks in the semi-finals and going further. You have to live with that if you made a misplay. But I think it doesn't really matter, because leaving the Magris up doesn't really harm him. And yeah, he has another out for that as well with the Miraculous Rebirth. Gets out a Charmelia, which is a really nice tech card. Doesn't see too much play because it's a really slow creature. It has to survive a turn to start making an impact, and survive multiple turns to really be kind of busted and not a fair card. And yeah, here you see the problem with the card. It gets removed so easily. That's why it doesn't see so much play. But yeah, I think it's quite nice that Experiment tried to incorporate that into his deck. Yeah, in my personal opinion, Rumbling Terrorhorn is a better choice. It also searches on turn 5, the turn Charmelia would do its first search. It has also 3k, a 3k body, so I think it does the job better. And here you see a take back that I think is okay. He tapped mana and then thought about, no, I want to charge one first. That's okay, and now he starts doing a play, hard casting Fortress Shell, getting rid of Belix and Bingo. So he tries to go after the light mana, I guess, and plays Soul Swap. So okay, now I don't really understand that. If he plays another Fortress Shell, I would have gone for the water mana, because he burned 4 mana in total. So he could have gotten rid of all the water mana. And now Hymne would be left with just 3 light mana. And I don't think it's really I don't think you have to look at what cards you burn against Ailzonius, because there is no grave retrieval anyway. So I think you just have to look at the colors. And Experiment playing the Charmelia back onto the board again, and with the rest of his mana plays a Bazagazil to get rid of the Aqua Surfer, so keeping the board clear. And yeah, I don't know what you want to search of Charmelia first. Maybe another Fortress Shell if he plays a fourth one, or start to looking for a finisher like Balmedius. And yeah, as you see in this board state, I think Experiment is in the better position now. Hymne fighting back by getting rid of the Charmelia once again, but Experiment has all the hand advantage and also the advantage on board. I think he could even go just Bazagazil and start swinging for shields, and it wouldn't really hurt him, because Hymne is out of range for an instant Ailzonius anyway. You can play it on turn 7 with 7 mana. Earlier than that you don't have to fear it, so yeah. And now if he gets another Fortress Shell out, which I think he does, yeah, I think that's game over. He can get rid of the water mana now. Okay, so goes for the Holy Ores instead. I don't understand that move, because Holy Ore doesn't hurt you at this point of the game. I think water is the better civ here, because he can draw into stuff with Aqua Hulkus. And Holy Ore, leaving Holy Ore in the shields benefits you if he plays Belix, because he has to take it out of the mana zone into the hand. So basically he's burning himself even more in the mana zone. So I think he should have gone for the water mana, but yeah, ultimately I don't think it will do anything, because he has all the advantage, like I said before. And I think that's the end of the game here. I think he can just go for it with Bazagazil. Plays another Sky Sword, so yeah, he won't get rushed to death, even if there are 3 Aqua Surfers in the shield somehow. But yeah, okay, he decides to go for the safe route and kill off the Magris first, so going for game next turn. But yeah, doesn't really make any difference. Experiment is going to take this game and the match 2-1. I think it was a really interesting and competitive match. Another Holy Orange Shields, but that just delays the game for 1 turn. Yeah, were really good games. Experiment is advancing to the finals, and we will upload that match very soon as well. Congrats for reaching the finals, and I hope you guys stay tuned for the upcoming matches. And if you are interested in participating in one of our international Duel Masters tournaments, feel free to check out the Duel Masters Reborn forum, where Halfa posts updates for upcoming tournaments. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I will see you at another video. And yeah, here he's going for game, and see you guys.